Mark, not just because he's on the pole, but because of the car he has got. The last time he ran that car, he won. Same thing time before, and time before that, he clobbered the competition all 3 times, leading the most laps. A lot of people in the garage this morning, however, told me that they thought Rusty Wallace was going to have another big day today. He's got the same car that he used at Phoenix to win. They've converted it to a bank track car. And don't count Dale Jarrett out either. He has been quick as well.
Now, when you talk about Jarrett, that is a good way for us to segue into our own Mr. Jarrett as we begin our first pit whip around of the day. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett with an update from the garage area. Glenn?
Well, thanks, Eli. And as you mentioned, one of the stories everybody has been following all week, particularly us in the Jarrett family, has been the state of Dale Jarrett's health. Of course, we saw him get out of the car at Phoenix with gallbladder problems. He was in a Phoenix hospital until Thursday. He flew home late Thursday, came home, went to Rockingham, qualified the car 4th. He has Hut Strickland standing by just in case he needs relief. But after yesterday's happy hour run, he was 3rd quickest. He says he's going all the way. Here's Steve Burns.
Hey, thank you, Glenn. The drivers are being introduced in front of the fans here in Rockingham. One driver that you won't see coming out of the crowd is Ernie Irvan. Once again, he will not start today's race. He suffered injuries at Charlotte and then again at Talladega. So Ricky Craven gets the nod in the Skittles Pontiac once again. Let's check in now with Matt Yoakum.
Steve, talking race strategy today for the 400-miler, the 2 words that you will hear uttered most, tire management, tire management, tire management. The abrasive racetrack here in Rockingham is very tough on tires, very similar to cheese slicing through a cheese grater. The guy who is best at conserving his tires will have the best chance at a trip to victory lane. Eli?
Matt, thank you very much. But again, the overriding story today is the quest for the championship for Jeff Gordon. Has to finish 40th or better. He'll win his 3rd NASCAR Winston Cup title at the tender age of 27. And what a dominant year it has been. Why don't we backtrack just a bit and take a look at what 1998 has been like for Jeff Gordon. Again, we go to Steve Burns with the story.
Jeff Gordon's 3rd NASCAR Winston Cup championship in 4 years isn't surprising. Great driver, great team, great resources, great results.
And he has now won 28 of the last 100 Winston Cup races. Jeff Gordon wins at Rockingham.
Since winning here at Rockingham in February, Gordon has visited Victory Lane a total of 11 times. He's won nearly $6 million, pushing his career total over $22 million. In fact, Gordon is averaging over $121,000 per Winston Cup start in his 6-year career.
The 40th career victory and the 11th win of 1998 goes to Jeff Gordon and the Rainbow Warriors.
Jeff Gordon's last win at Daytona tied him for 13th on the all-time win list with Bill Elliott and Tim Flock at 40 wins. Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt won their first Winston Cup races at age 28. Gordon has won 40 by age 27.
Boy, this is a moment. He's out alone. Set on the pole at 181.439. He will become only the 5th driver in 35 years to win the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, North Carolina from the pole.
Jeff Gordon won his first race in May of 1994 at age 22. His 42nd Winston Cup start. Since that emotional evening, Gordon is averaging a win every 4th start.
He won't force the issue, looking for his 3rd win at New Hampshire, his 9th win of the year. The DuPont colors again, heading to victory lane. Jeff Gordon and the Rainbow Warriors take on 2 tires. We've seen that script before, back at lap 233. They refuse to lose.
This season, Jeff Gordon has led at least 1 lap in 24 of 31 races and has led over 1,500 laps and 2,500 miles. He took the points lead for good after Sears Point, a streak of 16 consecutive races. Gordon had 17 consecutive top 5 finishes before last week's rain-shortened race in Phoenix, where he finished 7th. He also won on a road course for the first time and won in October, another first. Gordon has started from the pole 7 times and won the No Bull $5 million bonus twice. Barring disaster, Jeff Gordon will leave Rockingham with his 3rd championship. And we are witnessing greatness. folks, here he is, Jeff Gordon. Jeff, barring disaster, this should be the day. 40th or better. How do you feel?
I feel really good. I mean, we had a great day yesterday. The car is driving real well, and you know, the last time we were here, you know, we really came together at the end of the race and had a strong race car capable of winning. So, you know, we're not looking at just trying to finish 40th or better. We're trying to go out there and win. But I guess, you know, we do have in the back of our minds, we sure would like to wrap this championship up today.
Jeff, you've accomplished so many things this year, some firsts. What are you most proud of?
Oh, goodness. I mean, so many things to be proud of. But, you know, I think we started this season out trying to be consistent, not really thinking that the wins were going to be there for us. But all of a sudden we started winning. And to me, the thing I'm most proud about is the effort that Ray Evernham and those Rainbow Warriors have given me all year long. They just never gave up. They always had the confidence that we could win, whether we were sitting there 5th or 6th place. It didn't matter.
All right, folks, whether you like Jeff Gordon or not, we are, in fact, witnessing greatness. Eli?
Steve, when you look at Gordon's other championship years in comparison with his 1998 numbers, you see there that while it is an extraordinary year with his first 2 title seasons, a few more wins and top 5s, but the real difference is the point margin. He clinched the first 2 championships in the final race of the season, but now a huge 328 margin over Mark Martin. His 3rd championship is a mere formality. Well, it's time for us to take a bit of a break here at the North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the history of racing here at the Rock. And one family that's been to victory lane more than any other, the Pettys. They're next when we return live on TNN Motorsports.
Okay, people, this is a phone. This is $1. You still with me? Well, that's good. Now dial this number, and all your long-distance calls from home could cost less than $1. That's right, with 10-10-220. All calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents. Talk longer, and it's just 10 cents for each extra minute. No fees, no contracts. Am I right, Poochie? Just dial 10-10-220, then 1, then the number. Bottom line, you get up to 20 minutes on this for less than this. You got that? Good, because if I'm not mistaken, I think nature's calling my dog.
Mud holes, dirt roads. Most people wouldn't think of driving through stuff like that. But then that's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive. It automatically transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip, which means it does the thinking for you.
Sorry, mate. Guess I wasn't thinking.
Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
I feel a presence. Harold, is that you? Harold? Harold?
If your tools are looking a little more rusty than trusty, turn to the folks in the red vest, because they've got a wide variety, including Ace brand hand tools, built tough with a lifetime warranty. That's what makes Ace the place, with the helpful hardware folks.
The more power, the longer the call, the more expressive the conversation. Introducing new Duracell Ultra with a concentrated power force to get more life out of your high-tech devices. New Duracell Ultra. More power, more life.
Think about the North Carolina Speedway here in Rockingham, you have to automatically think of the Petty family. Between the king, Richard Petty, and his son, Kyle Petty, collectively, they've been to victory lane here 14 times. Then throw in Bobby Hamilton's win a year ago while driving for Petty Enterprises, and you'll find out that nearly 25% of all the races run here at the Rock have been won in one way or another by the Pettys. Matt Yoakum follows up on the story.
2 years ago, Kyle Petty decided to throw his hat into the owner-driver arena. He experienced the typical new team blues, but he nearly won 2 races along the way. What Kyle didn't realize was the pressure of being an owner-driver can be a bit overwhelming.
You know, we've been up, we've been down, we've been in, we've been out. We run really, really good. Sometimes last year we run really bad sometimes. We've had bright moments this year, and we've had low moments this year. So, you know, it's a total spectrum. You know, I've enjoyed owning PE2 and being that part of it. But you know, at the same time, when I started PE2, I tried to stay away from Petty Enterprises so that I wouldn't bring that team down with Bobby Hamilton and now with John Andretti. And, you know, it's not worked out everything I wanted it to be.
With experience comes knowledge. Kyle Petty knows it could be to his benefit to merge PE2 totally with Petty Enterprises, with hopes of taking both teams to the level of success experienced by the Pettys in the 70s.
Well, I'm probably worse for the team because I'll probably be there more. I'm not down in Concord a lot. Bobby runs everything down in Concord, does a tremendous job, and has done a tremendous job for us. But, you know, I don't have an opportunity because, you know, I think of all the things being an owner-driver has, and especially when you have sponsors like Coca-Cola and Hot Wheels that I've mentioned before and Spree, you have to do appearances. So you can't spend every day at the shop because you're not the owner, you're the driver. So you got to go do appearances. And, you know, when you're not being the driver, then you can come back and be the owner, but that only happens every now and then.
The move also puts the burden and pressure of pulling it all together squarely on Kyle's shoulders.
I have to go back and take more of an interest. But if I don't, then it skips a generation. It goes from Richard to Adam, and he has to take more of the interest, and I don't think he needs that pressure now. But at the same time, I am going to have to be a little bit more responsible, step up and make a few more decisions maybe, or be put in that position where, you know, if the buck stops here, it's going to have to stop here.
Over the past 15 years, Kyle has learned enough lessons to appreciate his homecoming.
In 1982, 83, 84, I was 21, 22, 23. I knew everything there was to know about racing. In the interim 20 years, I've learned that I don't know anything about racing. And I realized how much my father and how much my grandfather and how much Dale Inman and everybody at Petty Enterprises really knew and tried to teach me. I was just too hard-headed to learn.
A famous writer once wrote, "You can never go home again." Obviously, that doesn't apply to the Pettys.
It's the same sink that was there when I left 20 years ago. It's the same stuff. You know, that's just the way Petty Enterprise is. They've been a constant force and a constant presence in Winston Cup racing for 50 years, and not a lot has changed. They can still run competitive week in and week out, and hopefully that'll continue, so I think you can go home again.
For Kyle Petty, being blessed with the most famous last name in racing hasn't been a total advantage. He's won, he's lost, he's bucked the establishment, and now Kyle Petty is the establishment.
Of course, The Rock has certainly been more than kind to the Petty family. Richard winning 11 races as a driver, once more as a team owner. Kyle has had more success here at North Carolina Speedway than anywhere else, with 3 of his 8 wins and 5 of his 8 career Bud Poles coming here at this 1-mile track in the North Carolina Sandhills. Well, it's time for us to take a quick break here, but when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the other great point battles that have been ongoing over the years in NASCAR racing, and we'll look right into the late afternoon sun that can give drivers fits here at The Rock. More on TNN in a moment.
Professional builders, people who make a living with their tools, prefer to buy their tools at the Home Depot more than any other store in America. And whether it's the selection, the quality brands we offer, or our guaranteed commitment to the lowest prices, we think it's a pretty powerful argument for why you should shop here too. The Home Depot, where people who know their stuff buy their stuff.
It is more than sport. It is spirit. Ritual. Family. The Coca-Cola Racing family. Refreshed by Coke.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the DexCool technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Nasty storm. Wet road. Looks pretty bad, huh? No problem. That's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive, the ultimate safety feature. Thanks, kid. See, it automatically transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip. And only Subaru puts it on every car they make. And that's no accident. Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
Today on TNN Salute to Motorsports, the pretenders have now been separated from the contenders. Only a few drivers have a shot at the NHRA Winston Championship. The pressure builds as teams look to shave off 1,000th of a second that could give them the title. From Houston Raceway Park, it's the Matco Tools Super Nationals. Today at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, a part of TNN Salute to Motorsports.
Start of the AC Delco 400. You know, Jeff Gordon's unbelievable season has made the point chase almost irrelevant, with him having to finish only 40th or better here today. And, of course, this is not the first time ever that the Winston Cup Championship has been wrapped up well in advance of the final checkered flag of the year. Matt Yoakum takes a look back at some of the great and some of the not-so-great point chases of years gone by.
Over the past 5 decades of Winston Cup racing, there have been nail-biting point chases and blowouts. Since the current point system was implemented in 1975, there have been 10 different winners. When Gordon clinches his 3rd Winston Cup title, he could increase the number of triple-digit winners to 10. But a possible 300-plus lead won't be able to touch the King's amazing mark from 1975, a 722-point advantage over Dave Marcus.
That was a good year for us. We won 13 races that year and pretty well dominated, sort of like what Jeff's doing this year. The deal was we didn't, by the end of the year, we was far enough ahead. I think we come to Rockingham and won the championship 3 or 4 races to go or something. But it was just an exceptional year for us.
The new system was adopted to tighten the championship races. More often than not, over the past 23 years, the title races have been tight. 15 of 23 championships have been decided by double digits, while a third have been decided by 50 points or less.
It couldn't have been any tighter than it was last year. I mean, that was about as hectic as it could get, and I had no idea what was going to happen, you know, on that last final day at Atlanta. I didn't know who was going to be the champion, and we just drove our hearts out, every one of us, the top 3 guys in points, and we were fortunate enough to get exactly what we needed at a bare minimum to win the championship.
There have been surprise finishes over the years. The King won his 7th crown by a scant 11 points over Darrell Waltrip in 1979.
They've been something closer than what Darrell and myself run, and come down to the, you know, whoever led the most laps the last race at Atlanta one year. And it was just the kind of a deal that you don't know. You start the season and you feel like you got a chance to do it, and you run it, and you just have to take what they give you. And, you know, this year it's been giving Jeff a little bit more than it's give anybody else.
However, the closest battle was recorded in '92 between Alan Kowicki, Bill Elliott, and Davey Allison.
It goes to show anything can happen, you know, in a race. And, you know, Davey went in there leading, and we went in as the underdog there and come out on top, and that was an awesome deal.
You know, probably the biggest thing when I look back and reflect on it was a lot of inexperience on my part and the team's part, maybe Davey's part, on how to go to Atlanta with a points lead and try to win a championship. I think we got a little bit cocky and a little bit over our head, and Alan Kowicki and Bill Elliott both ended up beating us.
Well, Mark Martin today starts 2nd in points. His quest for the championship, at least for 1998, may very well be over, but I know on your mind you're chasing that 8th victory of the 1998 season. And you couldn't start at a better place than on the pole.
That's what it's all about, man. That's racing. You know, this Valvoline team has done a great job. They've adjusted to the Ford Taurus better than any of the other Ford teams, I think, this year. They put me in the best cars I've ever driven, and it's been a lot of fun.
Would you consider this a career year for Mark Martin?
Certainly is, and if it doesn't get any better than this, you know, I just hope to have another one maybe next year this good.
When you look, yesterday you ran the Busch Series race. The car's similar, not quite the same as a Winston Cup car, but you ran the same kind of tires. What did you learn?
The new ones are a lot better than used ones, I tell you. And you better stop and put them on every chance you get.
Well, winning strategy for sure. Mark Martin starting on the pole, Eli.
It's going to be an interesting story to watch Mark throughout the day, and tire strategy will obviously be the overriding story as the day continues. What a beautiful day it is, as you can see behind me. Beautiful sunshine. It feels great, looks wonderful. But later in the afternoon, as the drivers head off into turn number 1, they'll be going right into the teeth of that blinding sun as it begins to set just a bit behind turns 1 and 2. It's a major problem here, and Glenn Jarrett, you've experienced it over the years. Let's follow up on that thought.
Well, you know, Eli, the North Carolina Motor Speedway is also known as the Rock. And this time of the year, it's also the first rock from the sun. By that I mean the racetrack is laid out in an east to west direction. So as you say, late in the afternoon, later on in the race, cars coming down the front straightaway, entering the first turn here, are looking right into the setting sun. And, brother, it can cause some real problems.
It's pretty tough going into turn 1. That's the reason a lot of the crews take precautionary measures early. Taping the windshield down, getting the right amount of tint on the window so it doesn't blind the heck out of you. Also the visor I wear on my helmet, making sure it's the right design visor, the right shade. You got to wear a pretty dark visor, the darkest you can possibly stand here to combat that sun, because that's a problem.
It gets really bad, you know, it's just tough to see sometimes, especially this track. It's hard on the tires, which eventually makes it hard on the windshield. You know, you get a lot of sand and stuff here, and it pits the window real bad, and then when you do get sun, it makes it really bad.
Well, as sun sets and it gets a little bright getting into turn 1, we've had to deal with that here for a long, long while. We just put a little more tape on the windshield, wear some pretty cool sunglasses under your helmet, and you're okay.
The biggest thing, I think, is because your windshield gets so bad here because of the sand that the windshield gets pitted right off, and so your vision is impaired to begin with, and then that sun starts creeping down and makes it a little bit worse. But, you know, it's something that you kind of get used to. If you've got a good car, it's not nearly as bad.
What are you going to do? I mean, the sun's the sun, all right? If you can't see quite as good going into turn 1 as you could in the morning, well, you know, that's just tough stuff. You got to work with it, you know.
In years past, we have seen races decided by who gets into turn 1 the best going into that sun. Wouldn't be surprised if it happens again today here at the Rock. Back to you, Eli.
I like Mark Martin's answer. What are you going to do? Nothing. You can't turn the sun off. We are coming right back after a final timeout. The AC Delco 400 just around the corner. It's all coming up live here on TNN Motorsports, the next to the last race of the year, and we could crown the NASCAR Winston Cup champion today.
Where's Rusty going today? 14th century, I think. What'd you get? Italian Renaissance.
Nice.
Most gas additives don't stand up to 104 Plus Octane Boost. Octane Boost eliminates hesitation and increases horsepower on the street and off the road. 104 Plus Octane Boost kicks gas. Guaranteed. Take no prisoners. 104 Plus Octane Boost.
You didn't dial 10-10-3-2-1?
I admit it, Oscar. Sometimes I forget.
I told you dial 10-10-3-2-1 to save money. 50% when you talk over 20 minutes.
I know. I saw my phone bill, and those 10-10-3-2-1 calls were much cheaper.
And it's so easy.
I know.
So from now on, you'll always dial 10-10-3-2-1 first, right?
Oh, yeah. I've learned my lesson.
Pretty good advice, huh? Maybe I should be the trainer. Who doesn't want to save 50%?
The more power, the quicker the flash, the brighter the smiles. Introducing new Duracell Ultra with a concentrated power force to get more life out of your high-tech devices. New Duracell Ultra. More power, more life.
I'm looking for somebody who knows their parts. That'll work.
For expert advice, go to the pros. A massive crowd on hand here at the North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham, closing in on the start of the AC Delco 400. Why don't we go downstairs for one final look at what's going on in and around the garage area? Glenn Jarrett, what you got?
Well, thanks, Eli. I'm standing beside of Johnny Benson. He starts on the outside pole today, and we really haven't mentioned him. He had a great car here in the spring, had a chance to win the race, had some trouble late in the race. He's had some awfully bad luck this year. I think it's time for Johnny Benson to have some good luck today. Steve Burns?
Hey, Glenn, I was just looking at the statistics for Jeff Gordon for this season. You know, the Rainbow Warriors are there waiting for the race to get started. Jeff Gordon is about to become a $6 million man that at one time that might have seemed unheard of. They have accomplished everything they said they've set out to do. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Jeff Gordon win the championship and a race here at Rockingham. Matt Yoakum?
Well, Steve, you're absolutely right. In happy hour, the Rainbow Warriors were very happy with how the 24 car handled. They said back in the spring, they worked on the car all race long until the final pit stop. Today, they are starting with a whole new game plan. They think they've got a car that can compete for the win all day long. Eli?
So, folks, there you are. You're brought up to speed for today's running of the AC Delco 400. Again, the story on the front row, the Roush teams are there, so very quick in final practice here yesterday. It's been basically an event-free weekend as far as any problems. No backup cars to deal with. Of course, Ricky Craven again is in for Ernie Irvin. Dale Jarrett is okay, hopes to go the distance. Hutch Strickland is standing by as a relief driver. So we're about set to go racing. Glad you're with us here on TNN. Buddy Baker and the good doctor, Dick Bergman, join me for the start as soon as we come back to the Rock.
TNN, America's country home, is a service of CBS Cable.
We're here at a demonstration asking internet users to compare Cox at home to their current internet provider.
The speed of Cox is pretty much instantaneous.
This doesn't take up a phone line. It doesn't stop you from watching TV either.
Images that took 2 minutes to download, we're up within a matter of 2 to 3 seconds.
The choice is clear. Over 99% of internet users surveyed agree Cox at home is faster than their current provider.
To get high performance, you need high-performance parts. Bunner Engine Development is your speed shop. Bunner Engine carries the names and the quality you know. Mr. Gasket, Caroso, Dart, and Brodix, just to name a few. And if Bunner Engine doesn't have it, he can get it fast. And remember, Bunner also builds custom engines with the same high-performance parts he sells. Bunner Engine Development is your speed shop.
Catch the action.
As some Winston Cup drivers race for points and others race just for pride, they all have to race the Rock. It's the AC Delco 400, and it's next on
TNN, Salute to Motorsport.
The following is a special presentation of TNN Motorsports. The mid-1960s, high speeds are cool. Race car drivers are even cooler. A 1-mile track in the sandhills of North Carolina becomes a great watering hole to quench the public's thirst for heroes, drama, and good, clean action. Over the years, stars are born, success stories written, traditions furthered, championships clinched, all in the shadow of the Rock.
For Jeff Gordon, 1998 has been a dream season that few could have ever imagined. 11 trips to victory lane, including a magical second kiss on the Indy bricks. 1998 has also seen huge deposit slips and historical runs under the sun and under the stars. That dream truly began 6 years ago when a rookie driver and crew chief set out on a journey to NASCAR greatness. Their path difficult, their creed very simple. It read from nobody to upstart, upstart to contender, contender to winner, winner to champion, champion to dynasty. Today, Gordon starts 9th, only 400 miles, and a finish of 40th or better stand between Gordon and the Rainbow Warriors. Date with destiny of their NASCAR Winston Cup dynasty.
The sudden rain shower last week in Phoenix helped Rusty Wallace to end his victory drought at 59 races. but the gray skies seem gloomy indeed for Dale Jarrett, as for the first time in his career, he had to leave his race car. He was airlifted to a Phoenix hospital with gallbladder problems. The net result of all this, Rusty Wallace close to within 36 points of DJ in the point standings. Now on the grid today, Wallace will start third, while DJ is right beside him in fourth place. Dale has Hut Strickland standing by as a relief driver, but after a strong performance in happy hour yesterday afternoon, DJ says, hey man, I'm going all the way today at the Rock.
Ernie Irvan will not go all the way in the Skittles Pontiac. In fact, he won't even start the race. For the second race in a row, it's Ricky Craven in the number 36. Darrell Waltrip is exploring other options for 1999. He is resigning his position as the driver of the Tyler Jett Motorsports team. And how about qualifying? On the front row, it's a couple of Roush cars, teammates. Johnny Benson is on the outside of row 1. In fact, all 5 cars are in the top 22. But on the pole, it's the man who has driven so brilliantly in his pursuit of Jeff Gordon and the championship, Mark Martin. He's the guy leading the pack to the green flag. Those stories and many more here on TNN from The Rock.
The 50th anniversary season of NASCAR winds its way towards a conclusion. Today, the next to the last race of the 1998 campaign, we are live in Rockingham, North Carolina for the AC Delco 400. Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. On a weekend of ghouls and goblins, it's the ghosts of races gone by that are coming front and center to haunt many of the top drivers in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. If not for problems in races earlier this year, maybe they would be about set to wrap up a championship instead of Jeff Gordon. But today it is Coronation Day for the Rainbow Warriors. Finish 40th or better, and yet another NASCAR Winston Cup title is theirs. But if you're not talking about the championship run here this weekend, Buddy Baker, folks are talking about tires, and more tires.
Talk about gobbling. Now, this track will gobble some tires up. You go through the corners so fast here, the track is very abrasive. The tires go all 3/10 and 3 laps here. You can imagine at 30 laps, the driver's starting to get uncomfortable. About 60 laps in, he's begging for 4 tires. 75, hey, you're in trouble. You're sliding all over the racetrack. That will be the big factor today, not getting out of sequence and staying with the leaders.
The editor of Stock Car Racing magazine, Dr. Dick Bergman, is with us, and other than tires, there are other variables to deal with here.
Yeah, there are, and one of the most fun variables is that this place has several grooves. In turns 1 and 2, you can run fast low, you can run fast high. 3 distinct grooves in turns 3 and 4, and all afternoon we'll see drivers hunting around for the fastest groove, the one that suits their cars best. And the spotters high atop the grandstands will be helping them out. Not so much fun is what will happen late this afternoon, when the sun sets and the drivers will be tired as they peer through their pitted windshields trying to find turn 1. It is an almost blind situation as they turn left at nearly 180 miles an hour. But you're right, the big story is tires, tires, tires.
And before we even get to any of those stories, it's time to go trackside. Our national anthem is up next. Decca Records recording artist Miss Leanne Womack is with us here in Rockingham.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Those are F-15Es from the 333rd Fighter Squadron, Johnson Air Force Base in Goldsboro, North Carolina, with the flyby here today, and a wonderful job by Leanne Womack. Now, the AutoZone Race Analysis, brought to you by the more than 2,500 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. 393 laps. What's the pit window we're dealing with today, buddy?
Eli, the guys in the pits tell me around 65 to 75 laps. You could stretch it to 90, but you'd be on thin ice.
There you see all the teams getting set to go. Of course, so much is on the line today. The engines have fired here at the Rock, and we're fired up as well. Stay tuned. The AC Delco 400 from the North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham is next. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the AC Delco 400 is being brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. By Texaco. Texaco, a world of energy. By the more than 2,500 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Miller Lite, who reminds you to think when you drink.
Okay.
Oh, great. Yeah, that tuna.
These AC Delco parts are about the most dependable you can buy. They should really help improve your performance.
Come on, they're all the same. I'll take some out of this bushel basket.
Okay.
AC Delco. No matter what you drive, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
There's a lot of reasons why so many people who take care of their cars turn to AutoZone each week. The low prices on the replacement parts they really need, and the large selection of the things they simply want. But most of all, they come to AutoZone because of the helpful, friendly people who work there. The kind of folks who know their stuff and who'll go the extra mile to help you out. Because after all, taking pride in taking care of people is what AutoZone is all about.
We are back at the North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham. Glad you're able to join us here on TNN Motorsports for our final NASCAR Winston Cup event of the 1998 season here on this network. And again, the Coronation Day, one has to assume. 40th or better for Jeff Gordon. The championship is his. Third pole of 98 for Mark Martin. Best start of the year for Johnny Benson. Rusty Wallace, he's got 5 wins here. And Dale Jarrett has 4 second-place finishes here at the Rock. How about Jeff Bodine, fellas? Dick, it's great to see him up there. Still no ride for 1999. That may help some.
Yeah, and he has been strong here at Rockingham in the past as well, Eli. He needs a good run today.
There's Jerry Nadeau. Todd Bodine has run well here this weekend.
Eli, great job by this guy. He has absolutely no sponsor on that car. He and Doug Richard have done miracles with that car this year, making it right up front every time they qualify.
Kevin LePage, the highest rookie finisher in 4 of the last 5 races. Bobby Labonte and Michael Waltrip, 2 more races remaining in his ride with the Wood Brothers team. Terry Labonte, Chad Little. Terry's got a couple of wins here. And Kyle, 3 of his 8 NASCAR Winston Cup wins have come here at Rockingham. Why does this track suit his driving style so?
Eli, when they first brought out the radial tire, he mastered the art of not overdriving the car with the radial tires. And he knows how to get around this place. Don't count him out anytime the 44 remains on the racetrack.
Rookie Kenny Irwin and Kenny Wallace. Rick Mast was the pole winner here in the spring, and David Green. Ricky Craven subbing for Ernie Irvin and the rookie Steve Park. Hey, don't count out Dick Trickle. He had a 5th place finish last year in the AC Delco 400. And there you see the drivers in on the provisional starting spots. Ted Musgrave, Jeff Green, and with the past champions provisional, Darrell Waltrip. 0.4 of a second, 0.426 seconds is the separation from 1st to 43rd starting spot. As we leave you, take a look at the Manufacturers Point Championship. It's a big battle. We'll talk more about that when we come back to The Rock.
Thanks for the compliment, but I'd rather have that WD brand steak. It's great no matter how you cook it.
Marty's here. Okay, let's see a fuel injector for a Ford Probe.
Multiport?
It's too easy. How about a gasket for a Yugo?
With sealer?
EGR valve for 74 Gremlin. See you tomorrow, Marty.
Now, get 4 of our 35,000-mile tires, only $99, or double your mileage with 4 70,000-mile tires, just $169.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
Just about a half lap away from going green here at The Rock. We've got onboard cameras with a number of teams today. Darrell Waltrip going shotgun on the field. He'll give us a ride today, as will Rick Mast in the Remington Arms machine. Wally Dallenbach, who's not had some significantly good runs here of late, he'll be giving us a ride. That's Wally Dallenbach's car right there. The X-Side machine for Jeff Burton starting in 13th. We already bragged on Jeff Bodine, a fine qualifying run in the Phillips Ford Taurus. He starts in 5th. And we'll ride along with the Butt Pole winner as well. That is Mark Martin. Glad you're with us here at The Rock. Green flag is about set to fly. Here we go. Mark Martin leads lap number 1. Rusty Wallace right behind him.
Rusty Wallace got a great jump. Look back here in the pack, 3 wide. Jeff Gordon caught there in the middle just for a second. Now it's 2 wide as they come off turn 2.
Now this end of the track, 1 and 2, is really only a couple of lanes wide. Problems for Martin. Problems for Martin. He's slowed going into turn number 3. He's been bypassed and now quickly comes up to speed again.
Eli, he does that all the time. Apparently right now his tires hadn't built up the air pressure he wants, so he's just riding it out until he gets more comfortable. Then he'll get back in the throttle and go after it.
Takes a while for these tires to come in, and if you abuse them early, you will lose them very quickly in the run, and that may well have been a brilliant move. Look at Rusty's doing the same thing. Rusty now dropping back.
Get your 5 points and then take a seat.
Yeah. Little TV time there for Johnny Benson. He takes over the lead as they come down the front straightaway. You can see back in the pack here, they're running 2 by 2 by 2, and that's a very dangerous time in the race when you have to run on the outside before that lane really comes in well.
Here goes Rusty Wallace, grabs the lead away from Benson. Johnny finished 9th last week in that same car. Rusty Wallace won in that same car, and Martin, right back in the hunt, takes over second. And now Benson has trouble getting back in line.
And Dale Jarrett right now is telling them all, hey, I feel pretty good. He's moved up there to 4th place, and he's looking on the inside of Benson.
Rusty Wallace now reassuming the lead. And again, as I was saying before, in turns 1 and 2, you've got a couple of lanes to deal with. A little wider down at this end in 3 and 4, isn't it, Dick?
Yeah, it is. It's not only wider, but 3 and 4 is a little bit steeper. There's a 25-degree bank there as opposed to 1 and 2 where it's only 22 degrees. And you really do drive the two ends of this racetrack a bit differently.
Good scramble right there for 3rd spot. Jarrett in the 88, Benson the 26, Bodine in the 7, Rudd in the 10.
Eli, you can see the back of the 88 car get a little loose as he starts off turn 2. There's a crown over that corner there, and as you come up on the straightaway, the back of the car tends to come out if it's a little bit loose.
Bodine was 5th here the last time they raced at Rockingham. That was his last top 5. Not the same car that he did so well here. He wondered about that, too.
Yeah.
Wondered why they didn't bring that car.
The front 2, Wallace.
Good job. Be smooth now. Be smooth now.
That's Jeff Bodine's radio.
They're telling him, don't abuse the tires, just as Dick said earlier in the broadcast here. If you use them, you lose them.
Boy, 3 wide. Skinner upstairs.
That'll never work. I tell you, I run the driving school down here with my father. It's tough enough to get around here 1 by 1. When you throw it in there 3 wide in the corner, somebody's got to give.
36, Ricky Craven did a heck of a job there, not punting Kenny Wallace out of the way, the 81, when Kenny came back down in front of him.
Kenny Irwin in the 28 car on the high side. He had a bit of trouble finding the groove. This is only his 2nd race ever at Rockingham. Yesterday, after happy hour, Dale Jarrett, his teammate, sat him down, told him how to run this place, told him where the line was. Looks like it's working pretty well so far.
Rick Mast in 38th place, working with Rich Bickle. Closer to the front, Schrader in the 33 has 8th place. Gordon in the DuPont, number 24, is in 9th. 99, Jeff Burton, with whom we're running, is now in 10th.
Good look at the 24 car there of Jeff Gordon as he come off the corner. Very straight, very precise, not sliding that car at all, taking care of things right now. You can see, as we talked about, they're moving a little bit higher now in turns 3 and 4.
Those guys already 3.5 seconds behind Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin, your 1st and 2nd place runners.
Boy, it's a nice thing at the start of a race to be able to run in clean air by yourself out there and run the racetrack instead of competition on both sides of you. That's why they're moving away right now.
8th place, watching it through the windshield of Jeff Burton.
Jeff Gordon got his hands full there with Kenny Schrader in the 33 on the outside. You see him taking that nice wide line there. The tires will stay longer if you don't pinch them down in the corners here.
Burton won happy hour yesterday. That may mean less here than at most other racetracks, simply because the guy who's fastest on new tires, well, that may not matter. It's the guy who's fastest on old tires.
Right.
Eli, we talked about Todd Bodine. You can see him right on the back bumper, Jeff Gordon, just a second ago. So he's running quite well today. You see as he goes into turn 1 there, Todd Bodine doing a great job for an unsponsored car, running with such money in front of him.
Joe Falk, owner of that 91 Chevrolet, Little Joe's Auto Parts, up in the Norfolk, Virginia area. That's 8th place. We're riding with Burton. Jeff Burton trying to grab it away from Schrader. Of course, Kenny's run well here. 10 top 10 finishes. 6 top 5s in 27 starts.
Burton's run well here, too. Hasn't ever won here at Rockingham in this division, but 3 of his last 6 starts are top 5 finishes.
4th place.
Jarrett's still trying to make that lower line work, and you can see right now Bodine gets a little bit better run off the corner, but they're side by side as they go by the flag.
So who do you pull for here? Jeff Bodine, the guy that's had such a terrible year, or Dale Jarrett, the guy who's playing hurt today after having to leave his race car in the middle of the event last week at Phoenix?
Well, I'm going to pull for Dale Jarrett because he just passed it.
All right. Good idea.
And this battle still ongoing for 9th place.
You can see Todd Bodine. He runs well here in Busch Grand National. He runs well in the Winston Cup car here. He's built for this racetrack. He looks a lot like Cale Yarborough in stature. No neck. That's very important here with the G-forces you pull in the corner.
It really is. Physical comfort. Of course, remember that time back in '95 in the NASCAR Busch Series race? Todd was driving the Detroit Gasket car, and he beat, well, it was inches of finish over Mike Wallace and Larry Pearson. Maybe one of the best races I've ever broadcast here.
3 wide finish. They were side by side for the win, and literally it was inches. Place went nuts that day.
Sure did.
Okay, Eli, what about this time you can see we're getting up in a few laps on the tires now.
16 laps.
The air pressures begin to stabilize in the car, and you see the better handling race car starting to move towards the front now.
Ward Burton beginning to make a move behind this group. There he is, the MBNA platinum colored machine. He's caught that group. That was 3. It's now 4.
Remember, Ward Burton's only Winston Cup win came at this racetrack.
Meanwhile, you see Burton having made a pass right there. Jeff getting around the Jeremy Mayfield car up in the 7th.
That's the car that he ran, Jeremy Mayfield ran in Indianapolis this year and got into the wall, but he had a great lead. He said the car is really flawless here.
3 grooves again, very distinctly there, even though the drivers will say 2 is comfortable in that end of the racetrack.
Todd Bodine said, I'm doing just fine on the bottom, thank you, as he picks up the throttle and heads down the front straightaway.
You sneak Gordon way upstairs, Schrader's part way up there, and Bodine on the bottom.
Every time you talk to Ward Burton in the garage area, Eli, you get one thing. He said, ever since I got Tommy Baldwin as a crew chief, everything has started going so well for us. And he won his first race right here at Rockingham a few years back. So Ward Burton certainly knows how to master the rock, and you can see right now he's moving toward the front.
He's had mixed bags, though. He was telling me this morning, he said that remember that time back a couple years ago, and I had to look it up. It was actually February of '96 when he ran just 95 laps and was finished dead last in that event. Also was 11th here in February of this year. So, yeah, he's had a mixed bag of success here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
Well, won his first Busch Grand National race here. Hey, I want to tell you about the car owner's wife. Actually, she's sort of the car owner, that number 22. Gail Davis rode her motorcycle from Daytona to our race at Phoenix last week. And everybody else put their motorcycles in the trailer. Gail didn't. She got on hers, and she rode it all the way to Arkansas. Atta girl, Gail.
You tell us that story out of pride for Gail and jealousy that you weren't able to do it, huh?
Both. That's pretty special to be able to go that far, across the whole country, back and forth on a bike.
What they need to do, they need to settle this little dispute right now and start running nose to tail, because they're losing to the group just in front of them. As they run side by side, neither one of them being able to take advantage of the group. As I say that, that's exactly what they did.
That bunch is now 8 7/10 seconds behind that man, Rusty Wallace, who is the race leader by a full 1 second on Mark Martin. Jimmy Fennig is looking on. His man's second, but we're still very early here at the Rock.
Even at 475 degrees, nothing outperforms Mobil 1. Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
This is no ordinary leather jacket. Because when you put it on, you're not just saying you're a NASCAR fan. You're saying you care about kids. Buy any Exide NASCAR Select battery in 1998 and get the special 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket for just $150.
And on behalf of NASCAR fans everywhere, Exide will donate all profits to Give Kids the World Foundation.
The special edition 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Nice jacket.
Hungry for a deal that's long on taste? Drive in for Sonic's Coney and Tots Special. An extra long cheese coney topped with chili and cheese, plus regular tater tots, all at a special low price. So break away from the ordinary and drive into Sonic for a change.
We're here at a NASCAR race to take a survey. First question, does anyone sell as many high-quality auto parts as Napa? Does anyone sell more hard-to-find parts than Napa? No again. Does anyone have as many ASE certified employees? Last question. Would you like to get paid for this survey? Just checking. Napa, over 200,000 parts, and everyone's important.
Husky, the toughest name in tools. Guaranteed forever. Available at the Home Depot.
CNN Motorsports live coverage of the AC Delco 400 is being brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Napa, we keep America running. And by the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning. 43 cars started, and then there were 42. We're under caution for the first time this afternoon here at the Rock. Chad Little with problems on the back straightaway. He's taken the John Deere machine to the garage. We'll update that in a moment, but pit stops lap 27. It is so vital, as we've documented, because of the tire wear on these Goodyears here, buddy.
It is that, and right now you can tell they've just run a few handful of laps right now, and everybody wants to come in and get tires and really make adjustments on the chassis to make that car a little better for the slick conditions that you have here.
Again, they pit on both sides of the racetrack here. The front straightaway with 30 and the remainder on the back straightaway.
And right now there is not a single car touring this racetrack. Everybody is in the pits getting tires.
Only Buster Otten behind the wheel of the Pontiac pace car is out there. Literally everybody else is either on the front or the back pits.
And that's when the crew members really earn their money, because it's such tight quarters down there. Picking up a half a second can make all the difference in the world.
Glenn, any surprises?
No, not at all, Eli. As you guys have been talking about, tire wear is the key factor here. After 26, 27 laps on the racetrack, this gave them a perfect opportunity to come in, change all 4 tires, fill up with fuel, but most importantly, to look at those tires, check tire wear. No changes at all on Mark Martin or Rusty Wallace. Rusty had a great pit stop, 17.02 seconds. Matt?
Well, Glenn, talking about the 99, he asked for some forward bite. They lowered the rear air pressure in the right rear tire. Also, the 24 car, no adjustments. He said he got he was stuck behind the 33 car, and he couldn't get a good idea about what the car needed, so they didn't want to make any adjustments. Steve?
And Matt, thank you. Chad Little is sitting inside the number 97 John Deere Ford. They're working hard on the right front of the car. Chad, what happened on the racetrack?
I was racing with the 21 car, and you know, we just got together coming off of turn 2, and it turned me into the outside wall. I thought it gave him enough room, but I guess it wasn't there. You know, I just have to see if it shows. But it's really frustrating out there because the tires go away so quick, and I think everybody's just real reluctant to give anybody any room. It's really hard to race with conditions like this because, you know, you saw it, 10 laps, you're just sliding all over the place. It's the worst I've ever seen Rockingham. It's no excuse for getting in a wreck, but we'll just have to now fix it and get back out to try to gain some of those valuable points.
Yeah, and they're going to work very hard to get this car back on the racetrack, Eli. They came in here very high in the point standings. Chad Little going to try to get back on the track here in Rockingham.
All right, Steve, thanks a lot, and we'll follow up on Chad's lead right there. And looks like there's something amiss there in the Kodak pit. That's just across from us here at start-finish. Looks like one of the guys is not feeling all that well. We'll update that in a moment. Let's go back to Chad Little's deal. He mentioned Michael Waltrip's car. Let's watch the 21 there.
Okay, you see the 21, and Chad comes up, and they make contact right there. And you can see right into the outside wall. Michael really didn't have time to react or get on the brakes because he thought he was clear. He started across, and they made contact.
Now, who did well? Well, a lot of fellas came in and came out in the same positions. The big winner has got to be Kenny Schrader, who was running 10th at the time of the caution. Yep, there he is. Came in 10th. He is now running 5th after this first series of pit stops here at the Rock today. Stick around as track cleanup continues. We will return with more of the AC Delco 400. We're live on TNN Motorsports.
one way. That's my way. You will not think, sleep, eat. You will not... What?
There's a Burger King over there. Do we have to eat our burgers your way?
No. No, son, it's Burger King. You know. Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, special orders, don't
I like extra tomatoes.
Did I tell you to think?
When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
Some things are obvious from the start. Like, things turn out better when you work together. That's why the UAW International Union and General Motors Corporation got together to create programs to improve skills and safety, to educate, to promote teamwork and build better quality cars and trucks. Assembly line to finish line. Teamwork wins.
Beginning Monday, TNN invites you to get down and dirty. The toughest bull busters, the wildest wheels, rockin' and rollin' to Las Vegas. Pay Dirt Week, beginning Monday on TNN.
At Bud's Heating and Air Conditioning, it all started for us about 30 years ago. From the very beginning, it's been about dependability. From the installation of high-efficiency natural gas appliances for energy savings and year-round comfort, to the most reliable and efficient service. So when your heating or cooling system needs attention, remember that at Bud's Heating and Air Conditioning, the most important thing to you has always been the most important thing to us, dependability.
Cable Rep Advertising presents Making a Splash, a video magazine spotlighting the peninsula's hottest restaurants, shops, and the best in area entertainment. Making a Splash airs 5 times daily on Channel 71 at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., 10 p.m., and 1 a.m. daily. If your business is interested in being highlighted on Making a Splash, call Cable Rep Advertising at 873-1366. Making a Splash. Check it out today.
We are just about a third of a lap back under race conditions here at the Rock. Rusty Wallace continues to show the way over Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett. Johnny Benson is now 4th. Kenny Schrader up to 5th. Jeff Bodine restarted in 6th. Jeff Burton goes 7th. Jeff Gordon is running 8th. Ricky Rudd 9th. And Ward Burton now in 10th. That's how they restarted. Chad Little still in the garage area, as you heard from him moments ago.
Look at the
how
different
quickly they
lines.
go high.
Yeah, they're up in the very, very top of the racetrack. That's the Harry Gant groove that they're running right there.
Oh,
3
man.
wide. You could see Bobby Labonte ease out of that green car and say, no, I don't think so.
Jimmy Spencer way up
high.
there. Yeah, he said one day he was here at Rockingham and he was running about 18th or 20th going nowhere. He just sort of thought about some races he had seen here before. Remembered Richard Petty and Harry Gant run and ride. And he said, well, why don't I try running wide? And he went upstairs and all of a sudden he found himself in the front.
Well, he's not doing it right now, but the car that I'm watching right now, the 3 of Earnhardt, he goes in low here, but he has been using up all the racetrack. I guarantee you at the far end, down in 3 and 4, he'll be 3 inches away from the outside wall.
Whatever, though, it's worked, as you see all the rundown for you in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Brought to you by Napa. They keep America running. Look at this here. Mast, Kenny Wallace on that 3-wide battle. Look back there to that black car, Earnhardt there.
Yeah, the minute I said that, he goes straight to the bottom of the racetrack. He's looking for a place that that chassis will really work around the racetrack.
But think about it. He's got a couple of wins here, a couple of seconds, a third, a couple of 7ths and 8th. All of that in his last 11 starts here at the Rock.
Just a second or so ago, Robert Presley bounced off the wall. He was high in one of those 3-wide deals.
Moments ago, we also showed you some concern down in the Kodak pit area. We'll keep an eye on the racetrack for you. But Steve J. Cole, I guess, is the right side tire carrier there, was being tended to by the doctors. What you got for us?
Eli, it looks like he's hurt his left ankle. They've immobilized it. They have it taped up. J. Cole is, in fact, the rear tire carrier on the Kodak Chevy. They've got him strapped down to the board. It did. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but it did not look to be broken. So they do have it immobilized, and he probably will not return to the pits this afternoon.
Yeah, all sorts of guys banged up down there. So what? Henry Benfield had a cast on, huh?
Yeah, he's the gas man. He's got a cast on his right wrist. Just don't ask him how he got it. I got 4 different stories.
Of Henry, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure none of them was correct.
I tell you who's really having a problem right now is Jeff Gordon. He seems to be backpedaling just a little bit. The car, he's tried the high side. Now he's back to the low side of the racetrack. Right at the moment, until the air pressures come back up, we can't really say he's off at all because he may be the quickest car after 5 or 6 more laps.
I was going to say, yeah, he's having a terrible run. He's 12.
Yeah, let's remember here as well, when we were at Rockingham in February, Gordon was just awful at the beginning of the race.
Right.
Terrible. He couldn't get out of his own way, and the Rainbow Warriors kept turning the wrenches, adjusting that race car, and at the end, he won. Same car. This is Butthead.
I beg your pardon. Now, wait just a second.
That's the name of
Going
the car,
into turn 3, watch the hand movement here as Wally Dallenbach is really getting on the steering wheel. As he starts out, you can see him really fighting that car to get it off as straight as possible and not to abuse the tires.
Poor old Wally. He has had finishes of 23rd or worse in the last 10 races. I mean, that's been how well they started earlier this year when Wally took over, subbing for Ricky Craven, the great ones at Michigan and so on. But here of late, that car has just not been able to get the job done. For the moment, though, he's running 11th. There you see Terry Labonte running in 13th. The leader is still Rusty Wallace. There he is with Dale Jarrett holding down the 2nd spot.
Loves this car, calls it the streaker, and that's what it is. They built this car. It's Ronnie Hopkins, straight up chassis, no drop snout, no anything. They went back to basics, and Rusty says, I absolutely love it.
You know, last week they broke that non-winning streak. They kept their streak of racing wins per season underway. So many reasons to call it a streak that they just named the car that way.
Biggest thing they had to do to adjust the car, get it set for this racetrack as opposed to the flat track at Phoenix, Arizona, was straightening the sheet metal out. On the way to winning the race, he bounced that thing off the wall.
I see another streak, and it's Dale Jarrett. He's moved right up on the rear quarter panel there. Rusty Wallace is just behind him. Jeff Burton has been just soldiering right to the front in the 99 car.
We talked about the manufacturer's challenge before. And there you see the exact numbers. And everybody up front right now is Fords. Wallace, Jarrett, Burton, Martin, Bodine. I mean, a lot of Fords dominating today. Chevrolet had some great stories, though, this year.
Exactly. They won 13 times or 14 times. But the real story right now, Ford has won 6 out of the last 7 races. So Ford right now, they got it going their way.
We are live at the North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham. Still early, still 347 laps to go on a simply magnificent day here in the Sandhills region of North Carolina.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Marty's here. Okay, let's see a fuel injector for a Ford Probe.
Multi-port?
It's too easy. How about a gasket for a Yugo?
With sealer?
EGR valve for 74 Gremlin. See you tomorrow, Marty.
Pep Boys, for almost everything for your car. Like Castrol Motor Oil, just 99 cents a quart. That's 99 cents, a great price for Castrol.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
I heard this story about a group of tourists who were searching for Western heroes. Come on, baby. And they got a little off track.
We're sunk.
Luckily, their hero found them.
Guarda.
The legendary Ford F-150.
Gary Cooper. Yeah, Gary Cooper.
Looks like you could use a hand. With an available 5.4-liter Triton V8 that delivers more pulling power than Dodge or Chevy. Now there's a happy ending. Ford F-Series. Built Ford's up.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's get ready to rumble! Rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Except no imitations. Oscar De La Hoya and Ike Quartet battle for the welterweight title. It's the challenge. Saturday, November 21st, live on pay-per-view. Call now to order.
Let's get ready to...
Brought to you by Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. This mug's for you.
Thank you!
In the fall of 1988, Rusty Wallace came back from 23rd position to claim the race here at Rockingham. A cut tire put Rusty a lap down early, but in lap 304, he took the lead from Ricky Rudd and dominated to the finish. Rusty Wallace. Welcome back, everybody. There you see how Rusty has fared here in the 1998 season. A big old long line a weekend ago, picking up the victory at Phoenix International. Same car. Right back here at the Rock today. Eli Gold with Buddy Baker, Dick Berggren, Glenn Jarrett, Steve Burns, Matt Yoakum from the North Carolina Speedway. While the battle for the lead and the runners up front have had pretty good clear sailing, this battle right here, these guys have threatened to take each other out on virtually every lap. One moment it's Ward Burton having to wall up, 1 second Ricky Rudd, then Schrader about finds the wall. This has been a heck of a battle. That's from 7th on back.
Eli, they dropped the gloves five laps ago. This is bare knuckle stuff here. They're sliding, pushing. Ward Burton 2 or 3 times has been up there making it 3 wide, sliding into the car on the outside. Very exciting racing back here.
Wally Dallenbach, we rode with him there for a second. He's in 13th. He's that last car behind Terry Labonte, that red car.
See Jeff Gordon in the mix right there. He's not just riding around waiting on points to come his way. He's racing very, very hard today.
Jeff says the car's a little bit tight here in the early stages.
Not to worry. They'll get that fixed. You see Schrader in the head of this. He has a really interesting Rockingham stat package. The guy had 6 top 5s in a row. It stopped in 1992. Hasn't had a top 5 since.
It's been a bizarre career for a man who can run and win in virtually any kind of race car in the world. Steve Burns, it's been one of the unusual stories of Schrader. Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, their qualifying package has been terrific this year. Several poles for Kenny Schrader. Now, I just talked to the crew here. The last pit stop, they came out in 5th position. They made no adjustments, put on 4 tires. They just had a great pit stop, Eli, in the 16-second range. That's a great stop for these guys.
Everybody was in on lap number 28 as part of the only caution flag of the day when Chad Little and Michael Waltrip tangled, albeit ever so lately on the backstretch. Chad ended up in the wall and is now in the garage. And that's 7th on back that you're looking at right there, that big pack of cars. Don Andretti, Wally Dallenbach at the back of that line. There's Earnhardt grabbing a spot from Bill Elliott. Give him 20th position now.
Moving up, it's exactly right. Yep. You can see he was way on the bottom of the racetrack, swept all the way up, just kind of power slid it by the 94 there, Bill Elliott, right up against the wall now. That's where Earnhardt's been running most of the day.
Look at old Rick Mast. He's using the low line and staying right with those teams with Earnhardt and Elliott. There's Rick. A good view there, that 25-degree banking as you look out the passenger side window. That's 22 degrees of banking in that end of the speedway, turns 1 and 2.
That's music, isn't it? I'm homesick.
If you think the track's tight enough, we'll pull that rub out of right front.
Generally, they don't twist the motors as high here as they do in some other places. That's all part of the program to try and save the tires. And as we've been watching Dale Earnhardt, the car he's driving is the same one he ran at Phoenix last week. Hope you were with us for that show. He went from 39th to 3rd in that car, passed 36 cars.
2 straight top 10 finishes for Dale now.
And what Dick's talking about, with the 430 gear, you turn 8,700 down the front straightaway instead of 9,000 we're accustomed to seeing in places like Martinsville and all. And a 422 gear here will turn you 8,500. Those are the options that most of these cars have. And a lot of them opt to turn 8,500 instead of 8,700.
Gordon and Rudd, that's 9th place. Jeff Burton grabs 2nd place from Dale Jarrett. Now it looks like the low side is working. And you know, you talked to Larry McReynolds. His bunch won the Unocal 76 Pit Crew Championship here yesterday. Gearing is such an important factor here. Again, depending upon how your driver's driving style manifests itself.
Well, his driving style is right through the carburetor with his foot. And tell him, buddy.
Larry McReynolds told me we have to put brand new linkage on the carburetor and everything after most every race because he's got 2 speeds, wide open and dead off.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Eli, we were talking about gearing earlier on. I talked to the crew chiefs this morning on both the 2 and the 88 cars. When you talk about Rusty Wallace, he is running a 430 gear. Conversely, the 88 car has a 422. They feel they have enough horsepower. They don't need the extra gearing to get the car off the corner. But when the tires do get warm, that 422 should help the car not spin the tires as badly off the corner as possibly a 430 would.
You have the valve train to consider, too. You have to remember that it goes up there. Those pistons are not the size of the end of your thumb. They're as big around as your fist, and they got to go up there and stop and come back down and do that 8,700 times.
Well, you watch Dale Jarrett here, helicoptered out of the race last week with the problems with his gallbladder. Here he is. And in case you're wondering what the crew thinks, whether the crew thinks he can make it or not, it's his seat in the car, not Hut Strickland's seat, not the backup driver.
That helicopter, even this view right here, gives you a good idea of the different lines that teams are employing here this afternoon. Look at it again going towards turns 3 and 4.
You can see Dale Jarrett taking that very wide line right there. That's probably conserving his tires just a little bit and getting a great run off as he comes down and uses the draft. And yes, there is a draft on a mile racetrack because they're running close to 180 miles an hour down the straightaway here.
Things not going well for Kevin LePage right now. He is backslid through the field, and here you see the reason why. Smoke from behind the Prime Star Ford Taurus. And all the way back in the 37th spot, Kevin LePage will be coming to the attention of the crew. Of course, this year, the Ray Bestis Rookie of the Year battle finds him 13 points behind Kenny Irwin. Entering this next to the last race of the year, Steve Burns.
Yeah, Kevin LePage on pit road. We can't tell from here what's wrong yet, Eli. It looks like a normal pit stop for him. They are in fact putting water inside under the hood. Steam now coming out of the header pipes and water shooting out of the header pipe. So the motor has been shut off by by Kevin LePage. The big problems down here in the 16 pits as the hood goes up.
One of the first things you learn in this business, when your car resembles Old Faithful, it's never good.
Yeah, that's usually a cracked block or a crack in the head itself, and the water's just pouring right into the exhaust system.
As fast as LePage has been, 2 of his last 3 starts were DNFs. If this is a DNF, it's going to be 3 out of 4. He didn't need that with his rookie battle so tight.
Now let's see if that inside groove works for Ricky Rudd by himself. Got Gordon, Schrader, Terry Labonte, Ward Burton, Bobby Hamilton, Mayfield, Andretti. All staying high. And
Eli, we were talking about Gordon dropping back. He dropped back to 12th. Now he's moved all the way back up to 7th, so his car is doing quite well.
Ward way up there.
Kevin LePage's car, while you're watching this action, is going behind the wall. They're taking him directly to the garage area to see what they can diagnose there. Up front, Rusty Wallace is the leader. Mark Martin led lap number 1. Rusty led lap 2. Johnny Benson lap 3. Wake up! Wake up down there! You're winning!
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Even at 35 degrees below zero, nothing outperforms Mobil 1. Mobil 1 0W30. Superior protection when you start your car.
Here's what the renovated rooms at Motel 6 look like when you're sleeping and when you're awake. Asleep, awake, strobe light. Sorry, I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
When fix-it problems hit you from out of the blue, trust the folks in the red vest. They've got shelves full of products and loads of ideas to fix any fix you're in. Because Ace is a place for the helpful hardware folks.
Even with a recent addition of 15,000 grandstand seats, Pocono Raceway's Winston Cup events sell out. Pocono Raceway proudly announces the addition of more than 15,000 additional high-rise grandstand seats to be built for the 1999 season. Now is your chance to see all the excitement of Winston Cup racing from a great seating location. Call Pocono Raceway now at 1-800-RACEWAY for more information and to receive a preferred customer order form before the seats are offered to the general public. Don't miss this opportunity for great seats in 1999. Call Pocono Raceway at 1-800-RACEWAY. That's 1-800-RACEWAY.
Today on TNN Salute to Motorsports, the pretenders have now been separated from the contenders. Only a few drivers have a shot at the NHRA Winston Championship. The pressure builds as teams look to shave off a thousandth of a second that could give them the title. From Houston Raceway Park, it's the Matco Tools Super Nationals. Today at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, a part of TNN Salute to Motorsports.
Rusty Wallace, the race leader. He's just put a lap on David Green. Hey, folks, you can get an exclusive in-car camera look at all the action that's going on here today by going online at that computer address you see on the screen, tnnracing.com. All sorts of activities going on there. As you see Wally Dallenbach hitting the wall in the number 50. You'll hear those in-car communications, all sorts of multimedia offerings. TNNRacing.com, your one-stop internet site for the AC Delco 400 here at Rockingham. Here it's scramble for the lead now. Dale Jarrett trying to take advantage of that slow up on the track. Robert Presley trying to stay on the lead lap. Jarrett's got the top spot. So the new leader, lap number 80, is Dale Jarrett, while Wally Dallenbach makes an unscheduled stop on pit road after smacking the wall. There you see Wally. Oh, look at Robert Presley about buying the wall.
He's been way up there all day long.
Eli, this is what we talked about at the start of the show, is how fast these tires go away. And when they really go away, it's not the tire itself, it's the racetrack. It just grinds the rubber off the tires, and they're junk right now. These guys are hanging on.
They've been out there for 51 laps since they came in for pit stops at lap 28 and 29. Let's go to Steve Burns in the garage with Kevin LePage.
Eli, he's already climbed out of the race car. Kevin, what happened, and can you get back in the race?
Well, Steve, it's very disappointing for the Prime Star team. Something happened at one of these Rouse power plants. We're not sure what happened, but we're just riding along. We had to make some adjustments to make the car a little bit better, but I hate it for these guys. You know, we're trying to win this Rook of the Year battle, and I think this just sewed it up for Kenny. You know, we're out for today, and I hate it because these guys have been working real hard, but you know, we'll get them next week at Atlanta.
Okay, and Eli, just check next door in the garage area. Chad Little is still in the garage area trying to repair his car. So for those keeping an eye on Jeff Gordon's bid for the championship, right now 2 cars in the garage.
Right, one we know is not coming back, LePage. If Little does not return, only one more would have to drop out of the event, and the championship would belong to Jeff.
Eli, you could just a second ago watch the 3 of Earnhardt. He was really hanging on to that car. He pushed right up into Schrader's car coming off turn 4. Very lucky to get the car back straight. Just a little while back, a lot of these guys have already made contact with the wall. I watched Ward Burton just scrape the wall. In the 22 cars, you see him going into turn 1 there. And turn 4, he smacked the wall just very lightly.
Let's explain. We've talked so much about this tire wear because of the abrasive racetrack. What makes a racetrack abrasive? There are so many folks who are new to the sport. What's the difference from an abrasive track to a smooth track? Why?
Well, this particular racetrack was built when they paved it. There's an awful lot of marble and granite, small stones in it. And when you go out on the racetrack and you put your hand on it, rub your hand along it, it just feels like the most coarse sandpaper you could ever imagine. There's very little actual asphalt between the tops of those stones. So it's as if you're running on sandpaper.
Very elegant and very to the point, but then Mother Nature has something to do with it too. This is the sand hills, and the sand blows on the racetrack very much the same as Darlington, and makes it like a porous sandpaper on the tires.
Now Wally Dallenbach with new tires. He is a couple of laps down and